Good morning. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a fabulous Monday morning. It is officially fall, and today is Monday, September 23rd. So I hope everybody had a great weekend. I know there was a lot of rain yesterday, but we really needed it. It'd been almost 2 months since no rain, so it definitely was welcome. However, people that plan picnics and outdoor activities, not quite so happy about that. But that's what happens in the fall weather. So with that, I hope everybody again is having a great Monday. I am just going to, as usual, I use my laptop to make sure that I can monitor um, comments and things to that nature. So I just need to get my laptop up and running and click a few buttons. The amazing technology that we have today. So thank you all for joining this morning. Again, I'm reiterating, but last Friday was POW MIA Day. So I just want to make sure that, again, I know I talked about it last week, talking about it again this week. We can never, ever, ever forget our POW MIA service members, folks that never made it home or were prisoner of wars. And definitely we need to keep them in our minds and in our thoughts and in our prayers every single day. Also, we touched on Hispanic Independence Day last week. Actually, it's National Hispanic Heritage Month. It starts on September 15th and goes to October 15th. So normally we talk about national months. They start at the beginning of the month and at the end of the month. National Heritage Month begins at September 15th and ends on October 15th. So want to make sure that we give a shout out. And I know that I just saw a post from Naperville Councilman Benny White, who's traveling with Southwest, and Southwest decorated their area of the airport for Hispanic Heritage Month. So just wanted to give that recognition today. Also, the mug of the day. I brought up my Paramount mug. Paramount. If you haven't been to the Paramount lately, they do a fabulous job, and I wanted to give them a shout out. I was able to go with my daughter on Friday to see the show Full Monty. I'm going to give you a spoiler here. You don't really see a full Monty, but it's a really great show. And I mean, we laughed. It was enjoyable. Definitely something. If you can catch the tail end of the run where we're at right now, I would encourage you to do so. Really, the Paramount has been doing a wonderful job. The Paramount did launch their Broadway series back when I was an alderman, and they had the room full of the auditorium of a group of people, aldermen, Mayor Tom Weisner at the time, and they announced this initiative, and people were a little skeptical. They were like, Broadway in the Burbs is what they called it, at Broadway Caliber Show here at the Paramount. And I remember on the stage, former Mayor Tom Weisner was number one to buy the subscription for the Paramount Broadway in the Burbs Broadway series. And then I purchased that day as well. I don't know what number I am, but probably in the you know, top 30 people, first 30 people that bought a subscription, and have been getting a subscription ever since. And this is going back probably like 15 years. And I have to say, Paramount has not disappointed. They have run high quality shows all the time at a really a great value. You go out, have dinner, show, movie, just a wonderful time. So wanted to bring out my Paramount mug and give them a little bit of shout out. Also, this past week was Constitution Week. It's been said that when he was leaving the Constitutional Convention, this is going back a day, Benjamin Franklin was asked whether the founding fathers had given America a monarchy or a republic, and he replied, a republic if you can keep it. The founders put the power to decide our nation's future in the hands of we, the people. During Constitution Week, it's important to know that we refamiliarize ourselves with the Constitution, preserving our republic, protecting our union, and ensuring our democracy survives and thrives. So what we need to do during Constitution Week. Of course, as a service member, that we take an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States. My son's serving as well. We do that. We have to recognize that the hands of our country, of our future, always lies on the hands of the people of the voting. So the United States Constitution is the supreme law of the land and the foundation of the U.S. government. Now, this is a big thing because there's a lot of other countries out there that have had constitutions. They've been rewritten. However, our Constitution was written in 1787. It was ratified in 1788. It's been in effect since 1789. It is the world's longest surviving written charter of government. So it is the world's longest surviving written charter of government. So that means that our Constitution, although we do have some amendments, and those amendments have been ratified by the states over time, giving the women the right to vote and other important amendments, our Constitution still remains the longest surviving written charter of government in the world. And that's something that we should be proud of. So past week was Constitution Week. Again, we have these weeks, we sit there and we focus on certain parts of our history, but our Constitution is, of course, around all the time. So not just in the week. I think we touched on this a little bit, but there is proposed legislation, which is I think is really interesting, is that we have legislation that only accredited surgical techs are in operating rooms. So there's been a little bit of on-the-job training and a little bit of discussion with regards to concerns that hospitals are offering inadequate on-the-job training and online programs in order to treat patients and to have surgical technicians. What we are looking at is if they want to do that, that's fine, but they have to be graduates of an accredited program. So certified surgical technologists, they maintain very high standards. They have, I mean, we have criteria they have to meet. So it is a bill. It hasn't been passed yet, but something that we're looking at to make sure, as we do all the time, make sure that people that are serving you, that are working with the public, from teachers to cosmetologists to surgical techs, are properly trained and definitely have a person that you can trust working with you. That's pretty much one of the roles of government, is to make sure that there's just checks and balance on the private sector as well. This is an example of if we just had no government, as some people say, and just allow the private sector to operate at its will, could have some discrepancies such as this, where you have non-accredited surgical techs in the surgery room. That's just not acceptable. So we need to look at that. In addition to things on our desk, things that come across my desk, tragic, looking at proposed legislation. Again, we're proposing legislation. We have veto session in November, but then we will start the new General Assembly in January. A tragic incident where a 2-year-old was fatally stabbed allegedly by his 6-year-old brother. And looking at the Illinois Criminal Code with regards to young children. So obviously you have to argue, did a 6-year-old really know what they were doing? What other extenuating factors are there? Looking at the crux of the case, but then looking through it, the lens of government is, what do our laws say about these kind of things, tragic as they are? We do not have a minimum age for criminal responsibility. So this 6-year-old could be charged as an adult. And we all know, those of us that had kids and those of us that don't have kids and know a lot about kids, certainly 6-year-olds are just not the same as not the same as an adult. Although, you know, you argue that some adults act like 6-year-olds, but 6-year-olds don't have the mental capacity as an adult. And so certainly something that we need to talk about, we need to look at. 26 other states have a minimum age. So definitely something to look at, those other states. There is a proposed bill to establish a minimum age for criminal responsibility, look at mental health standards and fitness for minors, and look at how they are going to be evaluated for trial. So that bill is in the works as well. Again, ongoing conversations about the White Sox, the Bears, folks that want to have stadiums. Right now, looking at look, the end of the day, the state has to be fiscally responsible. And when we look at the revenue and some of the equations with regards to the White Sox and the Bears, first and foremost, really, they need to start looking at, what is out there with private funding and how we can work together to create economic development, but not have the taxpayers pay the full boat and put money into a stadium for the White Sox or the Bears as it sits right now. There's no bills for that. Also looking at CTA, Chicago Area Transit Authorities, they are looking at a budget shortfall. Those are things we need to talk about. I don't think these things are going to come up in veto session. These are bigger discussions that have to be done in the whole General Assembly, probably teeing it up for January, February budget talks, March, when we're looking at. Now, we do have a economic development announcement. EV manufacturer YMER Technology announces opening of the U.S. headquarters in Illinois. So YMER Technology, they do electric vehicle components for the heavy equipment industry. So most of the time we're talking about EV and cars. However, heavy equipment does a lot of damage to our climate, our atmosphere. And so this technology has EV components for heavy equipment industry. So definitely this is a great thing. It's a 5.7 million investment, and it will be opening its new headquarters in Buffalo Grove. So they partnered with the Village of Buffalo Grove. It's founded in 2005 in Stockholm, Sweden. And YMER Technology chose to relocate from Houston to Lake County to take advantage of Chicagoland's unmatched location, industry leaders, and our EV incentive program. So this is the first in a series of plans expansions for the company. So when everybody likes to talk down about Illinois, we have a lot to offer for these companies. We have more than 1,000 companies across the EV supply chain. We have the infrastructure to support its growth, roads, bridges, airports, rail, and waterports. So obviously, we are really posed, Illinois is really posed to be a leader in this segment. So definitely the technology EV is around for years. I've had an electronic mower. Certainly there are, and actually small engines are one of the biggest polluters as well, because they don't have catalytic converters or any kind of mechanism to clean the exhaust that comes out of the gas mowers. So just trying to do our part for the environment. So moving right along, the state had a $45 million investment to improve recruitment and retention in the state's most understaffed school district. It has been, for lack of a better word, I don't know if it's successful or not, but they did have 11,000 retained educators and 5,400 new teachers. So teacher vacancy grants were given to certain school districts that were having issues with regards to staffing, because you don't have a teacher shortage. It's not just, that's one piece of the puzzle. There's many other puzzles besides the teacher vacancy grant pilot. It ends, we appropriated funds for it in our fiscal year 2025. And it supports coursework, licensure, some other things to help teachers. But again, the teacher shortage is multifaceted, and we continue to work on that every single day. We talked about the state fair, the attendance. I believe we talked about this last week or the week before. More than 773,000 were in attendance for the state fair. Broke 2023's record. So definitely there was some great shows and wonderful things, family-friendly things to do there at the state fair. If you didn't take advantage of them, next year, the Illinois State Fair is from August 7th through the 17th. They are now in the planning stages of the state fair. State fair just closed. They're going to start looking at next year. Moving right along, State Treasurer Michael Frerichs is looking at lower fees and a mobile app for the Bright Star 529 program. So what is the Bright Start program? It's a college saving programs and that you can invest in now when your kids are little so that they have a college savings when they go to college. Obviously, my son's in the Navy, so his college is if he goes to college, you can go to technical school, you can go into the trades. There's many options for kids today. But certainly if you believe that your child is going to go to college, the Bright Start 529 plan is one of the lowest cost savings programs really in the country. And there is a new mobile app to help people prepare for their future college students. So Illinois families are expected to pay 13% less in fees and gain access to low-cost, high-quality investments under the improved program. So again, another great announcement from State Treasurer Michael Frerichs. He's doing a wonderful job and always looking out for the best for the individuals of Illinois. Now, talking about college, talking about education, Illinois is seeking public input on how to shape the next education budget. So the Illinois State Board of Education goes throughout the state sometimes and has budget meetings and board meetings. They had one here in Oswego East several years ago. So it's very important. It's very important for this Illinois State Board of Education to hear from individuals in the community. So you can support funding requests from isbe.net/budget request form. So certainly that is a great thing for you to do. There's an in-person meeting actually in Springfield. If you're going to be in Springfield, October 8th from 4 to 7, 100 North 1st Street, Springfield, beginning at from 4 to 7, and then virtual 4 to 7 October 10th, and then virtual again 1 to 4 October 28th. So be sure to sign up for that. We have a couple folks on the Zoom this morning. Bonnie, good morning, Bonnie. Good morning, Roger. Thank you for joining us today. And a couple other people watching from afar. So definitely thank you all for joining us. And then also we do have, like we've talked about transit, and there's been quite a few discussions about transit, but we do have a couple more meetings coming up. I told you about ISBE, but also believe it or not, we have some committee meetings coming up. So the state has been having their transportation hearings talking about Chicago Transit Authority, RTA. But we also have, talking about education, 9/23, which is today, actually at 10 a.m. You can zoom in and listen to the House Appropriations talking about higher education funding. That's on ilga.gov. Then you go to audio video under the House section on the website. 9/26 at 2 p.m. is actually a House Revenue and Finance Committee that I'm a part of. October 1st at 11 a.m. is called JCAR, and we have the Joint Commission on Administrative Rules. And then again, going back to that transportation hearing, October 16th at 10 a.m., you can zoom in and listen to the Senate transportation hearings as well. So just wanted to set that out since we were talking about hearings and input. You can certainly zoom into those informational as well. So that's certainly something to be a part of. You can at least zoom in and listen at ilga.gov. If you want to go to these meetings in person, you are welcome to as well. They're open to the public. So there is, believe it or not, there's been reported incidents of unlicensed dental practices across the state. Um, you would think anybody that's a dentist would be licensed. You would want that to happen, but there are always suspicious actors in any aspect of our lives. So the Illinois State Dental Society and the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulations have joined forces to launch a collaborative campaign urging the public to seek dental care only from licensed dentists. So, what do you need to know to educate yourself to make sure that your dentist is licensed? They are not licensed, bad procedures, damage to your teeth, you can get infection, all sorts of things. So, first of all, check out their online lookup. So you can go to the Illinois Department of Professional Financial Regulation and look up to see if they are licensed. You can ask them if they have their license and should be properly displayed. And if they are doing something that doesn't seem quite right, it probably is not right. And please report them. So that is something that we just wanted to let you know that's going on. And then a couple things in the community that I will leave you with. You can sign up your pup for the 6th annual Aurora Pooch Parade. So it's a competitive convention of canines, they call it. You can get your dog. It's held at 11 a.m. on Sunday, October 6th at the Phillips Park Sunken Garden, 1000 Ray Moses Drive. So participants are eligible to compete for the following awards: biggest dog, smallest dog, best costume, most energetic, twinsies, and crowd favorite. All dogs must be socialized, standard leashed, and current on all vaccinations. So the first 125 residents are guaranteed a spot at the parade and can compete for the following categories that I just read off. So you can register at aurora.il.org or call 630-256-3370. It's always fun, always enjoy it. It's a great time. And then in Montgomery, they have the Historic Cemetery Walk, and that is returning on October 2nd. So Wednesday, October 2nd at Riverside Cemetery in Montgomery, Illinois. It runs from 7 to 8 p.m. and it gives a historical tour featuring reenactments of early Montgomery settlers. It's suitable for all ages. It is not meant to be scary. The tour begins every 10 minutes at the cemetery's southeast corner. Bring flashlights, wear sturdy shoes, and then old Montgomery Street signs will be sold for $10, and refreshments will be provided. In case of rain, it will be rescheduled for October 3rd. So certainly that is a great event to go to, and a very fun event as well. And then finally, if you've been watching, the Federal Reserve on Wednesday cut its benchmark interest rate by an unusually large 0.5 point. And so that's a shift of every 2 years. So this is going to be helping out. We are going to look at this to come through the market through interest rates, mortgage rates. We see that most likely. So that will certainly, lower costs for mortgages, auto loans, credit cards, and helping Americans save money on interest. So the next policy meeting for the Federal Reserve is November 6th and 7th, if you're interested. So there's our little update. I don't see any questions in the chat. I think everybody should have a great day. The sun is shining. It is Monday. And next Monday is the 5th Monday of the month. It's September 30th. So we will not be having a Zoom meeting next Monday. I will be Zooming back with you in October. So everybody have a great rest of the week. Again, thank you all for coming to the Kid Expo. It was a huge success. And certainly we will be in touch. So take care all. Have a great day, a great Monday, a great week. Keep in mind, I've been saying this for a long time, COVID's still out there. So please be safe, be careful, and enjoy fall. Take care, everybody.